Hi, my name's Megan Hunkins, and my educational philosophy was progressive education. Progressive education aims to create responsible citizens who will eventually contribute to society. There's a lot of real-world experiences and applications involved, so there's a lot of hands-on tasks, there's field trips and things like that. There's a thematic curriculum, so each month they're learning something new based on a different theme. It requires a needs assessment so you can really focus on or identify what your students really need to learn. I agree with progressive education because the way it described it, I felt like it described my classroom because it's life skills based. There's hands-on learning and there's cooperative learning groups. In special education, in self-contained special education, my students don't really focus that much on academics. They really need to learn more life skills and social skills so they can function in the real world when they eventually leave school. So there's a lot of hands-on learning. There's a lot of hands-on learning, like learning how to use a microwave, learning how to wash a load of clothes, learning how to take care of their basic needs. They learn best when they're actually doing it. And then I will also pair them into cooperative learning groups. Sometimes I'll pair a higher functioning kid with a lower functioning kid, and they can meet in the middle. Or sometimes if I'm focusing on a certain skill, I'll pair high functioning kids, medium functioning kids, and low functioning kids separately so we can work on different skills that maybe the higher functioning kids don't need to work on, but the lower functioning kids need to. There weren't really any areas that I didn't agree with when it came to progressive education because I felt like it so effectively described my classroom. So I really once I read and learned more about it, I really wasn't surprised with why I identified with it. So what is progressive education? It was founded by John Dewey. It was aimed to increase responsible participation in society. So he really wanted students to come out of school and be citizens that would contribute. It helps to equip students with practical knowledge, real-world skills, so they can solve problems when they get out in the real world. In a classroom, there's different teacher and student roles. So in the classroom, the teacher would guide the learning process. She would still serve as a teacher by giving real life examples that the students can connect with and encourage cooperative learning, encourage that hands-on so the students are engaged and are actually learning by doing it. The student role they would have to take an active role in learning. They would have to be engaged. But their experiences and needs are also valued, so they also give their input, and they can give their real-life examples, like how would they use a microwave? How do they use it at home? So things like that. So I think that the pros and cons of having this philosophy or how it will affect me as a teacher leader it'll help me be practical, it'll help me be a problem solver, it'll help me to increase collaboration. But the cons will be that I'll be more focused maybe on practical knowledge instead of personal growth, and maybe I'll be more hands-on instead of discussion-based, which is not necessarily a total con because some people thrive more on hands-on experiences than just sitting and listening to a discussion. Sometimes that can get really boring. So what makes a good teacher in this philosophy? You have to be compassionate and understanding because different students won't learn at the same level. You have to be committed and persistent and don't give up on your students. You have to be decisive, make decisions quick, and stick by them. And you have to be dependable because your students need you and always need to know that you will be there no matter what for them. So my leadership style is I'm data-driven. You have to be data-driven when it comes to special education. I encourage collaboration in my classroom. I encourage students to work together with one another. It helps build their social skills. It helps build their level of understanding. I'm patient because, once again, with special ed students, you have to be patient and you have to be committed. You have to build that relationship with them and stick with it. You have to be able to solve problems. Sometimes you have to be able to solve problems really quick. So I feel like that's something that I'm getting better at. You have to be honest because these students need honesty. Everybody needs honesty. And you have to stick with what you mean and mean what you say. And here is my source. So basically, I feel that progressive education really describes me. It describes my teaching style. It describes my classroom because it's based on that real world experience. We take different field trips so kids can be out in the real world and see how what they learn in class actually applies when they get out of school. My kids have to take responsibility for their learning, and progressive education helps to keep them engaged. So overall, I agree with my philosophy, and I think it's a great one to have.